thank you everybody for coming tonight. Really appreciate you being here, and I'm sure that many of you are wondering what is going on. You guys are the reason why New Wine exists. Without you, there would be no New Wine Community Church. This church has been built on your backs, and it all started at this table. I know you guys remember many nights of visioning, planning, dreaming about creating this church where ordinary people would come in and be trained to live on mission 24/7, where you could belong before you believe, where you were loved and accepted, not judged and rejected, and when we were teaching people that God doesn't want you to be religious, He wants you to be real. All that started at this table. Tonight is all about me saying thank you for giving your time, your energy, your talents, your resources. Everything that you gave has helped us to be where we are today. And so you guys have all heard me say that generosity changes lives. And I want you to know that your generosity has resulted in lives being changed. And so I could tell you all about that, but I would rather show you.
So I'm going to share my testimony with you guys. So I grew up in West Covina, California, and my parents were married. My dad, he owned his own business, so we were wealthy. We were a very comfortable family. We always went to church. In high school, my dad's addiction started surfacing, so because of that, we lost our home, and the dynamic of my father and I's relationship started changing. My mother, who is the sweetest lady in the world, she was always there for my dad. Always, I felt like she was enabling him in a sense. And she would just tell him, pray for him, pray for him, pray for him. I felt like she was using that as a clutch. And so I became cold. I became numb to certain things. And I would just pretty much shut people out. And I just remember feeling welcomed. I remember Jessica at the door, always nice, always smiling. I remember I would go and I would work for you, Miss Barnetta, and you were always nice to me. It really felt like home, welcoming everyone. And I remember one time Terrence pulled me to the side, actually in the room, and he was saying, April, I feel like God is wanting more of you. And like he said that, and I just started bawling, crying. And I just felt like my spirit was craving someone to say that to me. It got harder and harder for my spirit to not, that feeling to not be fed. The things I would used to do weren't appealing to me anymore. I would go out with my friends, go to the club, like, man, this is boring. You know, I'd rather go to Pastor T's house, I'd rather go to church, I'd rather go to the Christmas parties. You know, like we literally had fun, like everybody had fun. And it was genuine and it wasn't fake. And so like, I just appreciate that. You guys don't see my family here. Everyone is family here. So I appreciate you. If you help start the church, if you're in the church, whatever, this group of people, it really does make an impact. So thank you guys.
I just thank God for him to show me that there is people that I can trust and let into my life and trust who are my children. About 2-3 years ago, there was no marriage at all. And now look, he's here.
I've never been a person to look for church, ever, like in the history of my life. I got forced on it as a kid, so when I got to the age where I could make my own decision, I'm good. I finally went one day, and Jessica was the first person I ever met at the church, and her energy was like, come in, like this is where you need to be. And from that day forward, I kind of always wanted to come again, and it was rare for me to want something that I've never wanted. I made more mistakes along the way, but through God and really just faith in myself and Him, it pushed us through. I like to use Will as one of my favorite examples because I watched him just be who he was. I see how he is with her, and it made me change who I was just by watching him, and it made me love my wife differently from watching him. I love New Wine, and It's my family.
Met April, who introduced me to these two beautiful people who, like, they don't really know this, but like I really like look up to them, and especially like T. Like, I don't know if he knows this person, but like he's like a role model for me. Driven by like pleasure and like sex, and that I wasn't just like living right. I had a conversation with God. I couldn't live like this anymore. Came out here to California, met these beautiful people, started getting my Bible, started going to church, and I'm just doing it one day at a time now.
It's coming to New Wine and my son being saved and my husband being saved. It's weird and amazing. It's a very different perspective when they actually find God, because you can actually say something. You can actually talk about Easter and not feel like tension in the room. You can be like, who's going to church today? And everybody comes. It's really a different atmosphere. Brings your family closer. It's, I don't know any other word for it other than miracle, and I don't know what else to say. Other than it wouldn't be without New Wine, because I know my husband wouldn't, and son would not have felt connected without this family, without all of you guys.
I pretty much grew up a knucklehead, making my own rules as I went along. Lying, cheating, stealing, pretty much my whole childhood. 18 years ago, I met this incredible woman, and she would talk to me about God and things like that, and I just kind of smiled and nodded and went along with it, and it went over my head. So one day I go out to my car. I had all the modern trappings that any guy could want. I had handfuls of drugs. I had handfuls of money. I remember looking up at the sky one day going, is this it? Is this all you have for me, God? Is this all? Is this what I'm supposed to be? And my incredible wife, through my addiction, has stuck with me, and I am very glad that she says God told her not to leave me, and I'm so thankful for that. There were times when we first came to church, and I'm sure Terrence remembers this, I sat down, I was not sober. There's been a few times where you guys have seen me, like some of the people sitting at this table, you've seen me at church. I wasn't sober. If it was not for this church, I would not have my family. My children were not wanting to be around me. My wife didn't even want to hold my hand. As I started talking to Terrence more and coming to know God better, things started getting better. What do you do with happiness? What do you do when you're used to defeating yourself for so long, and now you're happy? If it wasn't for you, I would not have my family. I wouldn't have my children. From the moment that I met Jesus here in this house, right up there, I said, okay, God, here you go. Everything got better. If it was not for New Wine and for you people, I'd have none of it. Thank you all.
2014 through about 2016 were really rough years for me and my family. 2014, I had ended like this toxic relationship I've been in since I was 17 years old. My brother and sister-in-law lost the baby at 8 months old. And we also lost our home of 10 years. We had to do a short sale, whatever, to avoid foreclosure. So then 2015, I was having like this quarter-life crisis. I'm 25. Everyone around me, they're like getting married, having kids, starting businesses, getting new jobs, and nothing was really changing in my life. In November of 2016, my cousin Louise invited me to New Wine. This church has impacted my life because now I do have a purpose, a God-given purpose to do social media. I just want to thank all of you guys for even taking your own time to start a church. But Haley, I just remember, I didn't get to meet you too much, but I remember their story was that you chose the church over a professional volleyball career. And I was like, she's nuts, like that's crazy. Why would you do that? God is everywhere, church is everywhere. That's what I was thinking. And then I found myself I was looking for a job, and I'm like, there was a job offer in San Diego, and I knew I would get it. And I was like, but the church,
church. Like, I can't leave the church. So I totally understood what you went through. I just want to thank all of you guys so much for impacting my life, for impacting my cousin's life, everyone that is important to me.
Well, for all of you that are sitting down, as you look around the room, you'll get to see a portion of the lives that you have impacted. And so here's what's super cool. You guys chose to be generous with time and talent and resources and all that other stuff, and it's impacted their lives. Here's what I can't wait to do. I can't wait to do this again when they're sitting at the table. Because these are the folks that are now being generous, and the church is being built on your backs.